Okay, so we pretty much got the final results in now. You can see it's pretty much a clean sweep for Trump and the Republicans. And of course, the markets are responding. This is what happened yesterday on the stock markets. This is what happened in the last 24 hours on the altcoin markets. And I guess the real fun actually starts right now, because if you look at when traditionally the real fun on the market starts, it's actually between the election and the inauguration. That's where we get the most risk on, and that's the period that we're going into right now. And I think we saw a bit of that coming into the markets yesterday. We saw a shift to risk. So in the stock markets, we saw the Russell going up 6%, 5.79%. The Russell is the altcoins of the stock market, and it absolutely started flying. And then we saw another shift to risk, which is what I really want to talk to you guys about today, which is we finally saw a bid in ETH. Now, I think that this is a seismic shift, and I think it's only just started. And I think if we catch the ETH run now, we may be very, very early. Now, I'm not talking about trading ETH, because trading ETH is for people in nursing homes. But there are a whole lot of ETH betas where if you start and you get in down, you may have huge upside. So urgent show. I had to bring it to you. Let's get this show on the road, guys. Let's go. Wakey, rise and shine, guys. It's another beautiful green day. It's a beautiful green day. You know, my kids, they play with the Banter Bubbles app when we wake up in the morning, and I say to them, how do you know if it's going to be a good day or a bad day? So you open the Banter Bubbles, and if it's green, it's going to be a good day, and if it's not green, it's going to be a bad day. That's how we know. So today is green. It's a good day. We got a lot of alpha for you guys here today because there's a shift in risk. And what I know about you guys, I know you guys love risk. And so today we're going to bring you a risk on show, but it's not the same risk on show that we always bring you. We're going to talk about the ETH ecosystem today because there is a move to risk. And one of the big indicators of this move to risk is the fact that you have ETH actually going up or catching a bid for the first time. Now, this may be really early. I'm going to show you why ETH is actually running. I'm going to show you why the DeFi plays on ETH are actually running. Because if you look at the move today, aren't the meme coins. The move today are Aave. The move today are Athena. The move today are Maker. And when you look at where the moves are coming in, for a change, it's not the meme coins. And I think we may be able to catch this trend early. So that's what we're going to be speaking about today. So listen, if you're not already one of the 1,094,000. I can see you guys are subscribing. Love you guys madly. Keep subscribing. If you're just here for the alpha, if you're not here for a long time, but just here for a good time, just here to get the alpha, what you need to do is you need to smash the like button. And speaking of being here for a good time, not a long time, I will be in Thailand very soon. I will be there for the ETH Devcon. So if you want to meet me, and you want to meet me for a good time, not a long time. If you want to have a good time, then we meet each other and we'll go and have a party in Devcon Thailand. Let me know in the chat if any of you are actually coming. All right, let's get into the alpha of the day. And there's lots of alpha to come. I think what we should do is let's look at the election results. I think it's a clean sweep, guys. I mean, we can pretty much say you got Trump 295 to Harris's 226 in the presidency. In the Senate, they've pretty much got the Senate. There's just the House left. And I think pretty much they're looking for 218 seats. They'll get the 218 seats. And then it's a clean sweep. And what we saw yesterday is we finally saw Kamala Harris. By the way, Kamala Harris went missing. Because what I did was I went and I stalked her Twitter, right? And I mean, this is what we're doing now is called grave dancing. And you're only allowed to grave dance if you really hate the person. But I want to show you what happened, right? Like, Kamala Harris and all her people were tweeting like maniacs on this thing. Stay in line to vote. I will vote. Every hour they would hit me with a tweet because I actually followed her. And then silence for like 24 hours until eventually they conceded defeat. So she conceded defeat. I must say, she went down, humbly? Yeah, she went down humbly. She went down with humility and with grace, and probably the best speech that I've actually seen her give, because as Colin says, it's a genuinely passion speech. It wasn't one of her scripted speeches, and we actually saw Kamala.
Watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been.
She conceded. She spoke from the heart. It's the last time you ever have to hear her speak, because I think she's going to crawl up in a hole and die now, because the Democrats won't run her again, because they realized that running her was one of the biggest mistakes they ever made. I mean, you want to talk about a mistake? They had $1 billion budget. She raised $1 billion for her campaign, and they landed up $20 million in debt. Now, you want to put these people in charge of your fiscal budget? No wonder you've got it's going to be 36 trillion by the end of the show, 36 trillion in debt by the end of the show. These people can't even manage their own budget, and they want you to get a credit score before you can get a credit card. I mean, imagine she had to get a credit score imagine you spent like this, and you spent $20 over $1,000. Your credit score would basically go to shit, and you wouldn't be able to get a credit card ever again. That's not how it works in politics, guys. That's not how it works in politics. Anyway, I'm glad she's not managing this budget anymore. Good riddance. And I think from now on, let's just agree, we're not talking about Kamala anymore. She's history. We've grave danced enough. It's game over, and it's time for us to move forward and to discuss the future. I want to discuss the past and the future, because this is what happened on the markets yesterday. And I tweeted this immediately as I saw it. And I think we have to talk about this for a second. So what I want to talk about here. So it feels like deja vu to me. I've been here before. I remember when Trump won the 2016 elections, and nobody thought that he would implement all his policies, and he did implement all his policies. And you know what happened? We got the biggest bull run you have ever seen. I actually want to take you to the chart of the bull run over here, and I want to take you to total. Let me just take you to total 2, because that was probably the best chart that you could have at the time, total 2. And let's go back to 2016, because that's when it was. And I remember this so clearly. And I just have to show you exactly what happened. So Trump wins the elections. He wins the elections with this little circle over here. That's when he won the elections. And then we got a bull run. Now, at the time, I didn't know what a bull run was. Like, I thought bull run was like when stocks run. Okay, it's nothing like that. Stocks cannot run. You can't get 100x's on stocks. Stocks cannot run 83 or 84,000%. It just doesn't happen on stocks. And that is the bull run that ensued after 2016. And if that wasn't, I mean, obviously it went back down, but then afterwards we got the next bull run. And this feels very much like the same thing. The only difference is, this time I'm smarter. This time we're smarter. This time we're more seasoned, and we're going to be more responsible. And the idea is that we're actually going to keep the money that we made on the way up. And that is effectively what we're going to be doing. Because I think a lot of people don't understand what's about to happen. But if you look at the Dow Jones, if you look at the candles that we got up in the last 2 days, the Dow Jones knows what is about to happen. So let me try and explain to you what's about to happen. Trump is going to bring manufacturing back to America. That's what he said, right? He doesn't want China to be manufacturing, so he's going to bring manufacturing back to America. What does this actually mean? It means that they've got to move all the factories from China, all these manufacturing plants from China to the United States. What does that mean? It means that they need a lot of money to build factories. Where do you get a lot of money to build factories? Very simple. You get the banks to give people loans. Oh, hold on, but the banks don't have enough money to give people loans. That's okay. We'll just print more money. And that is why the Dow Jones was one of the biggest gainers of the day. Because the Dow Jones is the industrial part of the United States indices. Look, the NASDAQ also did well, but let's just take the last 2 days on the Dow. So that's the Dow up 5%. Let's take the NASDAQ. So let's take the NQ100 or the NQ, the mini futures. Okay. Yes, they did go up, but you can't compare the candles, right? You can't compare the size 4%. You can't compare the size of the candles. Why? Because these guys are going to be spending billions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars to pump and to bring the US manufacturing onshore. That billions and trillions of dollars translates very much to the same thing as the stimulus. It means the banks are going to have to give lots of loans. They're going to have to pump the economy full of money so that people can actually build these factories in the US. And that is why the markets are responding like this. And we saw the NASDAQ responding. We saw the Dow responding. We saw the Bitcoin ETF responding. We had yesterday 621 million. So all these guys that sold in the last 2 days because they were scared probably went and bought it back higher. That's what novices do when they're actually trading their Bitcoin. So 621 billion flow into the market. Coinbase, I mean, holy shit, look at that God candle on Coinbase. Brian Armstrong is a genius. I mean, he's been playing the long game. He's been engineering a crypto-friendly Senate and a crypto-friendly Congress. Now he's basically reaping the rewards. Altcoins, beautiful green day on the altcoins. And I think I love this tweet from Cold-Blooded Chiller. What does he say? He said, you're going to see a lot of posts. The return of DeFi, the ETH rotation season, the soul price discovery season. Okay, everything is going up. You don't need to be a genius. If you focus on 5 coins, those coins are going to go up. You're going to think you're a genius. Everything is going up. And then he follows it up and he says, look, if you hold Sol, you'll do well. If you hold DeFi, you'll do well. If you hold ETH, you'll do well. If you hold Bitcoin, you'll do well. Because in this kind of market, okay, everything does well. You can't have a market that looks like that and you don't do well. If you are if you are in trades and they're not going parabolic now, you are watching the wrong YouTube channel. You should stop watching BitBoy's channel and start focusing much more on our channel, and you'll be very, very, very good. So that is what the markets are pretty much going to do. And I think you're starting to see the flow in the markets already. You're starting to see all the money going into the markets already. But I do think that this is just the beginning. I don't think that this is the end. I think that this is just the beginning of what's about to happen. I want to show you some other things. I said yesterday there was a tectonic shift in the way markets operate, or the way capital is flowing into markets, right? And that tectonic shift can be seen both in the traditional markets, specifically when you look at the Russell 2000, as I said to you. The Russell 2000 is the index that shows the 2,000 smaller stocks, not the big stocks in the United States. And it is like the altcoins of the stock market. And you can see that went up 6% yesterday, which means that money is going to flow into the market and people are going to start taking much more risk on modes. And that's what's happening. And that happened in traditional markets, but it also happened in crypto, right? So what we saw yesterday was very, very, very interesting. We saw ETH finally catch a bid. Believe it or not, we finally saw ETH catch a bid. And when it did, we finally saw the Bitcoin dominance actually reject from this line over here and actually start coming down, it's the first sign that, let me just quickly fix that chart. So it's a first sign that we've seen that the dominance is actually going to start correcting and that people are actually going to take more risk in crypto. Now, what do I mean people taking more risk in crypto? Number one, maybe the Bitcoin trade is a little bit tied up. It's not the end of the Bitcoin trade at all. But maybe people are just looking to have slightly more alpha. And when they're starting to get slightly more alpha or starting to get some more returns, they might go into the next asset. And the next asset from a TradFi point of view is actually the ETH asset. And so I think we're starting to see a slight shift. Like yesterday, we got a slight inflow into the ETH ETF. What I want to see is that this narrative continue. But the signs are all there. So even Ben Khan says, look, if on the ETH BTC chart, we can get above the 50-day simple moving average, there's a good chance that ETH BTC is bottom. Now, this is the ETH USD chart. And if you look at the ETH USD chart, it is almost breaking through this 50-day moving average. Let's quickly go to the ETH BTC chart, which is ETH against Bitcoin. And let us go to the daily because we're looking at the daily time frame. Again, it just needs to break this. If it does break this, then we may have reversed the trend on ETH. Now, why am I so excited about reversing the trend on ETH? Well, there are a few reasons why I'm extremely, extremely excited. I want to actually go through them with you guys. So the first reason why I'm extremely, extremely, extremely excited about this ETH trade is because it's a 4-year long downtrend. If you take the ETH BTC chart and you go to the weekly, just makes it a little bit easier. This is like a 3-4 year downtrend. I mean, we're talking about, from 2021. So it's a 3-year downtrend. We've been in a 3-year downtrend on the ETH BTC chart. If this reverses, you've got a 4-year catch-up trade. And there is a good chance that at some point this is going to reverse itself. Now, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for continuation. I'm looking for the breaking of on the daily. I'm looking for the breaking of that 50-day moving average. I'm looking to see whether the ETFs continue to buy. And if they do continue to buy and we start getting a bid into the ETH ETF, then I think we're back into game on. We're back into the money flow cycle. And how is the money flow cycle going to work this cycle? Because it's not going to work Bitcoin, ETH, large cap alts, small cap alts. It's going to be Bitcoin, ETH plus Solana, then large cap alts, then Altseason. Now, we've had this in every crypto cycle. In every crypto cycle that we've had, money's flowed into Bitcoin. Just when you thought the money was never going to flow out of Bitcoin, we flowed into ETH. When you thought there was never, ever going to be an Altseason, that's when we flowed into ETH. When the ETH trade became saturated, we went into large caps, and then we started to get into the Altseasons. And I think if I look at what the market's telling me, we're having a similar setup now. It's not exactly the same because we have this class of coins called meme coins, which actually wasn't here. And meme coins is just an everlasting narrative that people are playing. But we are starting to see signs that maybe this 4 or 3 year downtrend in the ETH BTC chart is going to turn, and we're starting to get money that's actually going to flow in. So I want to show you 4 reasons why I am excited about this move, or 5 reasons why I am excited about this move. So let's start off with reason number 1. So reason number 1 for me is that this is a 4 year downtrend or 3 year downtrend. And if we can reverse this 3 year downtrend, there's a massive 3 year catch-up trade that actually has to happen. And if we do get a 3 year catch-up trade that actually has to happen, usually these catch-up trades happen really, really, really quickly. So the first part that's exciting me is that this is not a 3 month downtrend or a 1 year downtrend. This is a 3 year downtrend that needs to be reversed. When these trades unwind themselves or reverse themselves, they usually catch a whiplash to the front. And that's to the catch-up point. And that's really where we're at. And so if this tweet is right, and I don't know if it's right or not, you're still early on the ETH bull run. Usually when the ETH MVRV crosses its 180-day MA, it signals a period of outperformance for ETH. While prices have risen from 2.4 to 2.8 recently, it hasn't happened yet. If it does happen, then we can get into ETH territory. So we're going to start watching this. The second reason why I'm excited about this is because I know you're all used to retail trading cycles, and I also love retail trading cycles, but remember, now there's a new player. The new player has a lot more money than me and you and even Josh and even Hardest and even Justine has a lot more money than you. A lot more money than you. Trust me, he has. This new player is called TradFi. Now, what TradFi does is TradFi brings in money from pension funds, from people in the street, and they put it into crypto. And so what's going to happen is we only have 2 assets with ETFs. You got Bitcoin and you got ETH. And so now what we're going to start seeing is whether this ETF catches a bid. And if this ETH ETF catches a bid, we could be in the game. Now, I want to remind you something. Yes, it's been quite dismal for the ETH ETF, but it's not as bad as you think. Because as I showed you this tweet a long time ago, and I said to you guys, if you look at the total inflows to Bitcoin when this actually happened, and this was in October, so about 3 weeks ago, there was $58 billion in on-chain holdings for the Bitcoin ETF and $7 billion for the ETH ETF. But remember that ETH as an asset, if you look at the size of the ETH asset, ETH is 1/5 or 25% of Bitcoin size. So times it by 4. So let's go back here. Let's times it by 4. 7 4s, 28. Okay, 28 versus 58. But they listed in January and they listed in July. So these guys have got like a 6-month head start. So got to play fair for fair. Maybe the ETH situation is not as dire as the ETH situation is. The third reason why I'm excited. So one is that we've had a 3 year downtrend. The second one is that we're getting an ETF. But the third one is that, you see this man over here? Look at him now, because you're not going to see him again after January. Apparently he's going on a vacation. He ain't coming back. That's what I've heard that. He's going on vacation. He ain't ever coming back. I think he won't even show his face in the United States. That's how much people actually hate this guy. And I mean, look, it's not all about his policies, because I mean, his policies are bad. But this face is a face that, even if his policies were good, this is the kind of face that you want to punch. It's just, I mean, he just has that kind of face that even if he was a nice guy, you would still want to punch this face. I mean, just look at this face. Anyway, there is going to be a change in the regulatory regime. Remember that in the short term, ETH is the only other legal asset, but there is going to be a change in the legal regime. And then we're going to get what this tweet over here refers to as the ETH DeFi revenge arc. Okay, now that's quite a smart thing. So it says it's going to be absolutely biblical with a hostile SEC out the way. We've been under 4 years of suppression, and that 4 years of suppression is about to turn. Now, what does this turn actually mean? It actually means two things in the case of DeFi. The first thing is, it means that DeFi protocols will be able to launch and will be able to operate probably in the United States under a legal framework, which is that hasn't been how it's been. And so you've had a disincentive of launching DeFi, and you've had an incentive to launch things like meme coins, which the SEC can't attack, right? You got that. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you will be able to start sharing revenue with your holders. So remember that all these DeFi protocols all have this thing called a governance token. What is a governance token? It's code for a token that shares revenue but doesn't share revenue yet until all the people that hold governance tokens vote that they are allowed to share revenue. Why did we do that? Because we didn't want his people to know what we were actually doing, that we were doing unregistered securities, right? So what we did was we called them governance tokens, and we said, look, they really have no value. We don't share in the fees until one day we actually vote to share in the fees. You understand that, right? And so they will now be able to share in the fees. And that's why if you look at the 24-hour returns on Lido, and if you look at the 24-hour return on Uniswap, they all flew up the most because now they can actually potentially start sharing fees. You'll remember that Uniswap wanted to share fees with their token holders, and they created this proposal on the in Feb 2023, 23rd of Feb 2024. And then what happened was the SEC, like a month later, said, if you want that, you're going to get a Wells notice. A Wells notice means we're about to come and issue you with a legal case. And so these protocols haven't been able to share their revenue with their token holders, and therefore the tokens haven't had value. But now that is about to change. And so that is the third and the fourth reason. So first reason, 4 years of a downtrend or 3 years of a downtrend. Second reason, the only other asset with an ETF. The third one, the regulatory framework, and specifically that the Democrats won't keep attacking them. 4, we're going to get the fees back. The next part of it is the double whammy that these DeFi protocols get, because what is actually DeFi? DeFi is about yield. It's about getting returns, right? DeFi is you stake your assets on one protocol, you get 10% yield. It's all about yield. That's what DeFi is. Now, what is happening to yields in the... Oh my goodness. What is happening to yields in the United States? Well, there's an FOMC meeting later tonight, and we're going to see that probably Powell's going to reduce interest rates today by 25 basis points. By the way, Dylan will be live here tonight, so make sure that you guys do it. I won't because I'll be on a plane. Actually, I'm already on the plane, but don't tell anyone. This is a pre-record. Don't tell anyone. So what we're going to see is we're starting to see the rates in the United States actually start coming down. And what happens when the rates in the United States come down? Well, I'll tell you what happens. People start looking for yield. And they're not going to get the yield in the US Treasury bonds anymore because the interest rates on US Treasury bonds is going to go down from 5% to 4% to 3% to eventually 2%, and eventually it's going to get to 0 because that's what it always gets to. Now, when you're earning less and less and you want to try and get yield, all of a sudden DeFi becomes very attractive. All of a sudden you say, hold on a second, maybe I can just stake my money in Lido and I can actually make some real money. Maybe I can put some money in Athena and I can make some real money. And so that's why we may actually get a bid why we're getting a bid in the DeFi/governance protocols. Because now all of a sudden, Athena, why is Athena up 22%? Simple. I look at Athena. Athena provides 12% yield for people who are holding its USDE. Now, when you're getting 12% on Athena, and you are getting, and it's actually more than 12% because you're actually getting, you're getting all the rewards as well. When you are getting 12% on Athena and you're only getting 2 to 3% on a government bond, we're like, hey, this DeFi thing actually might be the future of finance, right? And so there could be a bid coming into DeFi, and that's the fifth reason why all of these tokens are actually starting to run. I mean, there's also a sixth reason. I'm not that excited about the sixth reason, but I am excited because I'll be in Thailand for a good time, not a long time. And that is happening on the 12th, the 15th. I'll be there. If you'll be there and you want to meet up and we can have a good time for a long time, for a short time, then we should do that. But I think all of these factors together with DeFi, with Devcon in Thailand coming up, actually really bode well for an ETH season. And as I was saying, for me, the most exciting thing about this ETH season is that's just the beginning. This is the beginning of the run. It's the beginning of the run. You are, if you were to look at the charts, as I said before, you are here. This is the beginning of the run. And that's why today, even though I know I'm down in this position, I'm $3,472 down, I actually started to ape into the ETH betas. So the one thing I did was I bought Lido. I bought Lido at 124.75. You can see here's my position here. I bought Eigen. I'm slightly down on my Eigen position, but I don't really care. And the reason why I don't really care is because I know that this is the beginning of the run. Because if I take all these charts have been in a downtrend for a long time. Okay, this one's only since October, and we've just broken through. Let's take a chart that's longer. Lido. Lido has been in a downtrend since March. Okay, and we've just broken through this downtrend. Yeah, we just broke at $1.10. We broke through this downtrend. Now, where can these things go? Well, zoom out. Okay, this is a bad chart because this chart doesn't go very far back. But you can, we're just at the beginning of the breakout on all these tokens. ENS, okay, again, July 2024, you got this whole downtrend and you've just broken out of the downtrend. Uniswap, again, from April, you got a downtrend. It's good, but Uniswap's been on a downtrend since April 21. But in general, you've just broken out. So it's the beginning of the run. It's not the end of the run. It's not like you may have missed it. And that's why I don't actually mind if my entry points are wrong here. I'm just going to make sure I've got enough margin in this account not to get liquidated. Let me just add some margin, increase margin by $10,000. Confirm. Okay, you see, I've just reduced my liquidation price. I'm not going to get liquidated. And long story short, I'm going to hold these for a while and I'm going to be looking for confirmation. What is the confirmation? I want to see if the ETH bid continues. If they are, I've caught this thing early enough at the beginning of the breakout. If not, well, to be honest, I'm holding really good protocols that are very near the bottom, which means that I don't have much downside. And so my approach is a very simple approach. Right now, it doesn't really matter what price you're buying it at. As long as you're holding Bitcoin, ETH, large caps, I think you'll be cool. I'm not chasing the small caps yet. I'm chasing the big caps on ETH. I know it doesn't sound like the juiciest strategy in the whole world, but if you look at the biggest gainers yesterday, it wasn't the meme coins, even though Naira was up there. Okay, but let me just pop Naira because it's just in the way. It was all the other ones that actually went up. And actually, for the first time, what we saw is the share of mind. I'll see if I can get you this chart. Where is it? I had a chart of the share of mind. Here it is. The share of mind was actually in DeFi and not in, it was on ETH and DeFi, not actually in the meme coins. And this could be quite a big shift. And if you catch the shift, you're going to catch the shift really, really, really early. And so that's why I think the trade here is as follows. Get into the ETH big caps. If you're wrong, your downside is pretty limited. If you're right, you ride them up and you make 2x's and 3x's on the large caps, and then we transfer the money into the small caps. And so on a risk-adjusted return, I actually think we're doing okay. The other trade that I'm taking or have taken is ETH options. So I can buy options for December. What are we in now? We are in November. 1 month options. It's a bit soon. I can buy options for 2025, June 2025 options. I can buy options at today's price for like $500. That's actually probably worth buying. So let me maybe take a few here. Let me just hit the offer here. Hold on. Let me just hit some of these. But the question is, do I have any ETH? That's the question. I've got 2.6 ETH. So let me buy 1 ETH worth of these options. At a limit, buy. Hold on, is it 1 ETH? Yeah, we must buy 10 of these options. We can't buy one. So let's buy some options for June. Okay, bang. So what have I done here? I've taken a bet that in June, I bought options at $3,000, right? So if ETH is trading at over $3,500, all the rest for me is pure upside. So you can buy ETH options and you can buy them on 𝗕𝗟𝗘𝗕. If you want to sign up on 𝗕𝗟𝗘𝗕, there is a link below. You can buy the large caps. You can buy them on leverage. You can buy them on leverage. You can use Bybit. If you're in the US or anywhere else, you can use Blowfin because Blowfin don't actually do a KYC. Link below if you want to do that. That is what I'd be doing. I wouldn't be taking too much chances. I wouldn't be going into the real DGen coins yet. I'd be staying with the top ones. Athena, as I said, Athena's got amazing yield. It plays into the narrative of yield where there's no yield. It plays into the narrative of DeFi. It plays into the narrative of ETH. It's a great play. It's had an amazing recovery. I showed you the chart over here. You can see the recovery over here. The low was about 20 cents, 25 cents, and now it's at 50 cents. Got a long way to go up. If you look at the health of this protocol, so from a health point of view, where is the dashboard? You can see the amount of fees that these guys are raking in. I think one of the biggest fee generating protocols on the entire in the entire ecosystem. Let's quickly actually go into Athena if we can see the dashboards here. In terms of the number of USD, they got 2.837 billion in their Athena USD. So quite a big healthy protocol with amazing integrations. Now, one thing that people don't realize, if you hold USDE and you trade on Bybit and you leave your collateral in USD, you're earning 12 to 15% on your USDE while you are trading leverage, which is like a no-brainer. I think I'm actually going to do a tutorial for you guys on how to do that. But anyway, the play is stick to the big guys. Your worst case is, okay, you missed it. Okay, look, I mean, just look at the lows on Lido. It was like 94 cents, and now it's at 130. You get back to the highs, you're getting back to $3 or $4. Okay, so there's a long way to go here. And again, Lido is one of the most reliable platforms. If you look at its revenue to FDV, the revenue to FDV is like a multiple of 1. I wonder if the researchers actually put it in here. Yeah, revenue to FDV of Lido, I think this number is wrong. The revenues, they took the monthly revenue. You're supposed to take the annual revenue, but it's 1. Okay, that's pretty much the number here. Another bet which I took, as I said to you, I took EigenLayer. Why did I take the EigenLayer bet? Because EigenLayer is probably the best piece of technology or the most innovative technology that's come out on ETH. Now, look, the chart of EigenLayer paints a really bad picture. Why? Because the EigenLayer picture is that they launched a high FDV project. It went down and down and down and down and down. There was a whole lot of FUD. People hated on their token project max FUD. But we like to buy max FUD because it turns. And also, remember, I did that show for you where we spoke about the balloons and how if you have a high FDV low flow token, it's easy for the balloon to be pulled up. So here we have a balloon. This balloon has 11% of its tokens in circulation, right? See, now the researchers are correcting the mistake. You can watch this live only on Crypto Banter. You can only watch this live on Crypto Banter. So it's very easy to push this balloon up. Same with this balloon over here. Remember we said high FDV, low market cap projects are bad when markets are going down, but they're fantastic when markets are going up because there's less tokens to pull up with our hot air balloon. So EigenLayer is one of the trades that I actually took. Great piece of tech, max FUD. I think it's going to be okay. Athena is a trade that I took. Lido is a trade that I took. I'm taking these trades because I just think that on a risk-adjusted basis, probably one of the best trades that you can actually do. And then you can start later on looking at more of the ETH risk. And we can go all the way down. Like you got Renzo, you got Puffer. If you got balls, if you got balls of steel, like you can start getting into Paolo's picks, Taco, Renzo, Puffer, you'll do well. If you don't have balls, then you can stick to the bigger guys. And I think either way, to be honest, the meme coins are the meme coins, which will always do well. You see these researchers, what they've done. They've gone dirty DGen memes. Do not trade the dirty DGen memes. We're still playing the big caps. That's what we're actually doing. Okay, cool. So that's that. That's why I think there's been a shift, and I think that shift will be good for ETH. Okay, so listen. Yesterday I got into a lot of trouble with the Irishman. Why? Because the Irishman runs our Discord. He thinks he owns the place. He doesn't realize he doesn't own the place. He just runs it. He doesn't own it. He shouted at me yesterday. Now, what happened yesterday was the following. Remember I said to you guys that every week we bring guests into our Discord and they give you a whole lot of calls and you can watch the Friday banter. In fact, the team is watching the Friday banter with 𝗪𝗧 today. They're getting to speak to 𝗪𝗧, to meet him in the back end of the thing. So Joe McCann gave the call over here at $8 million and that went to $53 million. So what did I do? I did what I normally do. I did some crazy batshit stuff and I gave people entry into the Discord for 50% off we said 50% off for 2 months. Okay. This is our Discord. This is where we do, I've got my own channel. It's where I drop all my birdie calls. The Irishman's got a channel. You can see I drop all the calls that I make over here. I share them with the community first. Joe McCann gave us the call here. That call is now 5, 6, 6, 8, 48. It's 7x up. So you would have made 7x. Now, if you want in, I'll give you another 3 hours from the time the show ends before we close the waiting list at 50% off. So it was supposed to be 24 hours. I'm going to make it 27 hours, but don't tell the Irishman. And then I'll close the waiting list in 27 hours. So you got, from the time you watch your show, you have 3 hours. Sign up, you get 2 months at 50% off, only for new members. If it's existing members, it won't accept your Discord name. You guys are going to get some other gift from us. All right, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got a banter with Arthur Hayes. It's going to be big. I'm sure it's going to degen. Remember, if you want to sign up for that link, you just go to, let me just get you a show here so you can see where to go. Over here. Oh, wait, Sheldon's in Maya. Hold on a second. Yes, bro. Okay. No problem. Okay, I'll do it now. Okay, so Sheldon says, so first of all, if you want the Frontrunners thing, just click on this link. You have to use the code Trump2024. It's only valid for 3 hours after the show. Then I'm closing the waiting list, and then it's going to go back to normal price. Sheldon says that he is running his school again, and he wants you guys to sign up to schools.
I have a question. When you were drawing the Fibonacci, when do you choose the higher low or the higher high?
If I look at the RSI, what it's basically showing me is a wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down. On the chart, wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down. Okay, so what you'll do is there's the bottom, there's the bottom, there's the top, on the 618. Now remember, if you want to get the 618 and you're bullish, you want to look at the buy, you're always going in the direction of the move. So you'll take your Fibonacci from here, from the bottom to the top. When you're looking to short, you're looking at taking it from the top to the bottom.
So how does it work? Usually these courses take 3 weeks. Okay, so Sheldon says usually these courses take 3 weeks. But this time what they're doing is they want people, because they know people want to trade really quickly. So they've condensed it that basically you'll learn to trade in a week. Literally in a week. You'll know everything that Sheldon teaches how to trade in a week. Now, full disclosure, he did help me trade in the competition. And the guy's a beast. I got to be honest. The guy's an absolute beast. His calls are always fire. You want to sign up? It's free, but you got to sign up ASAP. There is a link below. Use the link below. Sign up today. It's the first time that we're doing the school in 1 week. So literally, you start on the Monday, and I think by the Sunday, you know exactly how to trade. You know everything. Quickest trading thing that you'll ever do. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.